Imagine a marketplace with no shouting vendors, no haggling over prices, not even a single spoken word. Just piles of gleaming gold left unattended in the dust, and miles of empty desert silence. This wasn't a fantasy. For centuries, it was the brilliant, pragmatic reality of the Sahara. I'm Ibnul Jaif Farabi, and this is Echoes of the Ancients. Our story unfolds along the ancient trade routes that connected the empires of West Africa, like Ghana and Mali, with the bustling markets of North Africa and the Mediterranean. On one side, in the lush river valleys south of the Sahara, lay incredible wealth in the form of gold. On the other side, in the arid north, was a mineral more precious than gold for survival in the heat: salt. And between them lay the vast, unforgiving ocean of sand, the Sahara Desert. Bringing these two worlds together was dangerous. Different languages, different cultures, and a deep-seated mutual distrust made direct contact risky. So, they devised a system of commerce so elegant, it required only mutual need and unspoken honor. They called it the silent trade. Here's how it worked. The North African salt merchants, the Berbers, would travel to a well-known, neutral site on the edge of the gold-producing regions. They would lay out their precious slabs of salt in neat rows. Then, they would retreat to a far distance, often beating drums to signal their departure. The gold traders, from the Wanyera or other local groups, would then approach. They would inspect the salt and place beside it what they considered a fair amount of gold dust. Then, they too would vanish back into the landscape. The salt merchants would return. If they were satisfied with the amount of gold, they would take it and leave, beating their drums again as a signal of completion. If they felt the offer was too low, they would simply walk away without touching anything. The gold traders would then return and either add more gold to the pile, or, if the salt was gone, know the deal was done. This back and forth could repeat several times, all without the two parties ever meeting face to face. The entire monumental exchange of two of history's most coveted commodities rested on a fragile, silent understanding. Think about the profound trust this system required. It was a trust born not from friendship, but from pure, cold necessity. Both sides needed what the other had too desperately to sabotage the system. For the gold-rich kingdoms, salt was not just a seasoning. It was a biological imperative in the tropical heat, vital for preserving food and replacing electrolytes. For the North Africans, gold was the currency of empires, the foundation of their economic and political power. The Sahara itself was the ultimate enforcer. The sheer, deadly scale of the desert meant that established trade protocols were more valuable than deception. Cheat someone, and you might gain a little extra gold one year, but you would lose the entire trade route forever. This silent trade wasn't just about goods, it was about ideas. While gold and salt moved silently, knowledge traveled with the caravans that carried them away. News, religious beliefs, and technological innovations hitched a ride on these routes. The very empires that grew fantastically wealthy from this trade, like Mali under Mansa Musa, became globally famous because their gold, secured through this wordless barter, eventually found its way to the courts of Europe and the Middle East, reshaping the entire world's economy. It makes me reflect on the foundations of our own transactions today. In our world of digital contracts and instant communication, we've arguably built more barriers than bridges. We layer on complex legal terms, middlemen, and verification systems because we've lost that fundamental, binding constraint of mutual, absolute need. The silent trade reminds us that commerce, at its core, is a human agreement. It's a story we choose to believe in together, whether that story is written in gold dust on desert sand or in digital code on a screen. The Sahara's silent markets are long gone, but their echo is a powerful lesson in pragmatic trust. For Light Knot Studios, I'm Ibnul Jaif Farabi. You can find more stories like this at https://www.lightknotstudios.com. Until next time.